This week, over 30 encampments in support of a free Palestine have popped up at university campuses all over the US, and the empire is reacting the only way it knows how, with violence. So let's talk about why these campus protests are so important and why the empire is rightfully scared. Because it really can't be overstated how important these student movements are and how much they push society forward. University divestment is a huge reason why South African apartheid was eventually dismantled. Students were protesting South African apartheid for decades, going back to 1965, and through their organizing for years across the entire nation, they were finally able to push universities to divest from South African apartheid. In 1986 at UC Berkeley, where there's actually an encampment right now, students staged a sit-in and a class boycott that pushed the UC system to divest $3.1 billion from South African apartheid. And that was followed by divestments from Columbia and many other universities. And that alone is huge, right? But then you multiply that by the 30 or so universities that are all protesting right now, and then you really start to understand why the empire is scared. The universities operate a lot like private equity firms, where they take our tuition, government funding, and donations and invest them in different portfolios. So that can include big banks and tech, and that could also include military contractors like Lockheed Martin. And then what this does is it makes the Israeli apartheid not only sustainable, but profitable. And when things are profitable in this capitalistic world that we live in, there's very little incentive to change things. Because remember, upholding apartheid is extremely expensive, so divestment is one of the best ways to hit them where it actually hurts. Because as we all know, the only language that these leaders understand is the language of money. And the extreme reaction that we're seeing right now from the empire should really just crystallize how important this moment actually is. Right now, the government and the mainstream media are working in overdrive to paint these protests as anti-Semitic, as violent, as being terrorist sympathizers. This is all a direct reaction to a movement that's becoming a real threat to them. And of course, as I'm talking about all this, we can't forget what's happening in Palestine. Just the other day, the IOF announced that the Rafah invasion would be beginning very soon, and they just discovered another mass grave at Al Nasser Hospital with people executed with their hands tied behind their back. So this is a machine that's still running, and it's powered by the capital that we generate. And once that capital stops, the machine stops too. So if you made it this far in this video, be sure to do at least one thing in support of a free Palestine or in support of a Palestine encampment. If you are close to a university encampment, go and support them. They need your help. You can buy some supplies like water bottles or snacks and drop them off, or you can even be there physically to help protect their encampments. If you're not near one or you can't be there physically, amplify their messages. The mainstream media is working overtime to try to muddy the waters and paint these as just anti-Semitic demonstrations, which is obviously not the truth. So we need everyone else in the nation to be amplifying the messages of these students so that they know this is about stopping a genocide and nothing else. And honestly guys, I'm just so damn proud of this generation right now. Like, it honestly makes me emotional seeing all this video. If these are going to be our leaders, then we have a very bright future ahead of us. Free Palestine.